Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are diving into some absolutely mind-bending celestial paradoxes. We're talking about counterintuitive space facts that sound completely fabricated but are actually 100% scientifically verified. Space has this funny way of reminding us that reality is often way stranger than fiction. And honestly, the universe is just packed with mysteries that challenge absolutely everything we think we know.
Right off the bat, I want you to imagine a scenario. What if I told you there's a planet out there where it literally rains glass? And no, not just falling gently from the sky. We are talking about glass raining sideways, being whipped around at thousands of kilometers per hour. I mean, it sounds totally absurd, right? Like something straight out of a wild sci-fi novel. Well, science says it's 100% true. Today, we're exploring unbelievable space facts, exactly like this one. Things that sound totally fake but are absolutely real. We're going to break down the science behind these bizarre phenomena, and you'll definitely want to stick around because the final fact we cover is going to completely change how you think about your own physical connection to the universe.
Section 1, Secrets of our Solar System. Let's start right here in our own cosmic backyard. Take Venus, for example. It spins so incredibly slowly on its axis that it takes about 243 Earth days just to complete one single rotation. But its orbit around the sun is much faster, taking only 225 Earth days. So think about what that actually means. A single day on Venus lasts longer than its entire year. And to make things even weirder, if you were standing on the surface, you'd notice Venus actually rotates backwards compared to almost every other planet in our solar system.
Or consider the density of Saturn compared to water. Now, Saturn is a gas giant, right? It's absolutely massive. But surprisingly, its average density is actually lower than water. This brings up a pretty wild concept. If you could somehow find an ocean out in space large enough to fit Saturn inside of it, the entire massive planet would actually float. Now, sure, creating an ocean that big is impossible, but scientifically speaking, based strictly on density, it would bob right at the surface.
Section 2, Extreme Alien Environments. Let's venture a bit further out. Remember that wild scenario from the beginning, the sideways glass rain? Well, here is the culprit. Meet exoplanet HD 189733b. Scientists have found that on distant worlds like this one, the environments completely defy human logic. The temperatures here are so extreme that they literally turn minerals in the atmosphere into tiny glass particles. And since the winds are blowing at thousands of kilometers per hour, those glass particles don't just gently fall to the ground. They are whipped around in these intense sideways storms at unimaginable speeds. Definitely not a vacation spot. And speaking of extreme environments, wrap your head around this number: hundreds of trillions. This represents the size, in kilometers, of a giant cloud located near the center of our galaxy. But it isn't just any cloud. Astronomers discovered that this massive thing is packed with alcohol molecules. It stretches across hundreds of trillions of kilometers and literally contains enough alcohol to fill countless Earth oceans. But, before you get any ideas, it's not exactly drinkable. It's mixed up with toxic chemicals and suspended in the freezing vacuum of deep space. Still, the sheer scale of it is just staggering.
Section 3, Mind-bending space physics. I want you to imagine, just for a second, floating out in the middle of deep space. Sci-fi movies are constantly showing us these loud, booming explosions, screeching lasers, and roaring engines. But the reality is much, much more eerie. Space is completely silent. You could have a massive explosion happen right next to you. A star could collapse, planets could literally collide, and you wouldn't hear a single thing. Why? Well, sound waves need a medium, like air or water, to travel through. Since space is almost a perfect vacuum, there are practically no particles to carry those sound waves to your ears. Just total silence.
And the physics get even wilder when we introduce extreme gravity. According to Einstein's theory of relativity, gravity actually warps time itself. It's a phenomenon called time dilation. Near a supermassive black hole, the gravity is so intensely strong that time actually moves much, much slower compared to someone observing from safely far away. So if you were to spend just a short time hanging out near a black hole and somehow manage to return safely, you'd find that decades, maybe centuries, could have passed back on Earth. Time travel to the future is literally scientifically possible through this exact effect. Surviving the trip, though? Yeah, that's a whole different story.
Section 4, The Unfathomable Cosmic Scale. Let's talk about the sheer size and weight of things out there. I want you to picture holding a simple, everyday object in your hand, just one single teaspoon. Now imagine scooping up a teaspoon's worth of material from a collapsed neutron star. These are the ultra-dense cores left over after massive stars explode in violent supernovas. If you somehow brought that 1 teaspoon of neutron star material back down here to Earth, how heavy do you think it would be? It would weigh billions of tons, literally more than an entire mountain. That brilliantly illustrates just how intensely dense these objects really are. The gravity of a neutron star is so unimaginably powerful that the very protons and electrons inside atoms get crushed together into neutrons. You're left with one of the densest objects in the entire universe, packed into a space small enough to hold in your hand. Assuming it didn't instantly crush you, of course.
Now, while neutron stars pack immense mass into tiny spaces, other cosmic bodies really emphasize the vast, isolating emptiness of space. You see, not every planet gets to happily orbit a warm, glowing star. Enter the rogue planet. Some worlds have actually been violently ejected from their home solar systems. They just drift endlessly through the cold of interstellar space in complete and total darkness. Just imagine that for a second. An entire world wandering alone through the galaxy with absolutely no sunrise, no sunset, and no parent star to ever give it warmth. It's incredibly eerie.
But space isn't just empty. It's also impossibly crowded if you zoom out far enough. Just picture the sheer amount of zeros it takes to write out 206 sextillion. Scientists estimate that there are roughly 206 sextillion stars just within the observable universe. It's a number so outrageously massive that the human brain genuinely struggles to even process it. So let's put it into a perspective we can actually wrap our heads around. That number, 200 sextillion, means there are more stars in the observable universe than there are grains of sand on every single beach and in every single desert on Earth, combined. Think about scooping up a handful of sand at the beach. Now think of all the beaches in the world, all the dunes in the Sahara. Every tiny glittering star you see when you look up at the night sky is only a microscopic fraction of what is actually out there.
Section 5, your connection to the stars.
It's so easy to feel small when we're talking about hundreds of trillions of kilometers or 200 sextillion stars. But the crazy thing is, you are intimately connected to these colossal cosmic events. Think about the carbon in your cells right now, or the very oxygen in your lungs that you're breathing at this exact moment, or the iron flowing in your blood. Every single one of those atoms was forged inside the cores of ancient stars, billions and billions of years ago. When those massive stars finally died and exploded in supernovas, they didn't just disappear. They violently scattered all these crucial elements across the vastness of space. And over billions of years, those scattered elements clumped together. They became planets, they became roaring oceans, they sparked early life, and eventually, they became you. You are made of stardust. I know, it sounds like poetry or just some romantic metaphor, but it's a literal scientific reality. In the most literal sense possible, every single human being is made from the remnants of dead stars. And that brings us to the end of our journey today. When you look up at the night sky, you aren't just looking at the universe, you literally are the universe looking back at itself. So what do you think? Which space fact amazed you the most? The cosmos is incredibly vast, deeply bizarre, and beautifully intricate. It's constantly reminding us to question our assumptions about reality. I highly encourage you to keep exploring, keep looking up, and definitely let us know what you think.